Okay, now derivatives. So what is derivative? Derivative is an asset which its price or its value is derived based on the underlying asset. And the underlying asset can be the commodities like gold, corn, wheat, etc., stock and bonds, market index, currency, interest rates, etc. So the payoff of the derivative depends on the underlying asset. That's why it is called derivatives, because the value derives from another instrument. Most common type of derivatives is option, forward and futures, and swaps. Okay, let's understand what options are first. Okay, options is a rights to buy the underlying asset at a specific time. So that specific time we call it an exercise date. So it is at a specific time, and we will buy at a specific price. So we can call it K, which is the strike price. So the call have two term, which is the time and also the strike price. The put is the option to sell an underlying asset at a specific time and also at a specific price. Okay, so for the buyer of the option, they get a rights, but for the seller of the option, they will have an obligation to meet the transaction if the option is exercised. If the option is not exercised, then they don't have any obligation, but once it is exercised, the seller will have an obligation. For options, there is two kinds. American option, they can exercise the rights anytime up to time T. So if it is bought at time 0, but the maturity is at time 6 months from now, they can always exercise their rights to buy or sell anytime up to time exercise date. But for a European option, you can only exercise on the exercise date, one specific day only. Okay. So we are trying to understand the payoff of an option. For a call, what is the payoff of the long position of a call? Long position means you buy the call, not you write the call, you buy the call. Okay, so when you buy the call, you have the rights to buy at the strike price K. So let's say we draw, this is the payoff at the exercise date. Payoff at exercise date, that is the Y variable, and the x-axis is the price of the underlying asset at the exercise date. Okay, so if the price of the underlying asset is K, so it is priced at 50 and you have the rights to buy at 50, so there is no benefit to that, right? You can just buy at the market price, so the benefit is 0, the payoff is 0. But let's say the market price is actually higher. The market price is 60, but the holder of the call have the option to buy at 50, so he can buy at 50 and then sell at 60. So his payoff, his benefit is 10 ringgit. He can buy at 50, he can sell at 60. So benefit is 10 ringgit. So the benefit is the market price minus the maximum of the market price minus the strike price, or 0. So in this case, it's 10. But if this number is negative, so if the market price is less than 50, you'll get a negative number here. So you will take the maximum, so you will take 0. So the payoff is 0. So it is reflected by this graph. By this graph, you can see if the ST is bigger than K, your payoff is positive. If the ST is smaller than K, your payoff is 0 because you won't exercise. Okay. For short call, the payoff is opposite. What does it mean? Okay. For example, if the ST is 60 again, but the K is 50, right? So means the person who holds the call will exercise. So they will buy at 50. They will buy at 50 when the price is 60. So when he wants to buy at 50, who is going to sell the underlying price at 50 ringgit? The person who writes the call. So the person who writes the call have to buy at the market price 60, but he will then have to sell to this person at 50 ringgit. So his position is negative 10. So what you need to know is the payoff for a short position is always the negative sign of the long position. So payoff for short and P equals to payoff for long equals to the negative of the payoff for long. So it will be just the opposite sign, but the value is the same. Okay. So here it is negative 10. Here it is 10. Both is at the same ST, which is 60. Okay, for put, how do we understand this payoff graph? So the strike price is 650 again. Okay, this is the option to sell. So you have the option to sell at 60, but if the actual price is more than 50, which is if the actual price is 60, so will you want to sell at 50 if the market price is 60? No, right? So you won't exercise. But if the market price is lower than 50, you will be happy to sell it at 50. So the market price is 40, you can sell it at 50. So you can buy at market price. You buy at 40, your cost is 40, but you sell 50. So your untung, your profit is 10. So this is your payoff. They call it payoff. So your payoff here is 10. And here, as for the writer of the put, the payoff is negative 10. Always negative sign, okay? Because when this person wants to sell at 50, this person promised to buy at 50, although the market price is 40. Okay? Alright. So, let's see an example. Okay, this example, we try to understand the profit of this position of long call and long put. So just now we look at the payoff. Now we want to understand the profit of taking these two positions. Okay, so the scenario is, this is the price of the call. The strike price is 78. Oh, I did this wrong. The exercise date is actually 6 months. 0.5 here, okay? So the price of this call is 5 ringgit 60 cents. The price of the put is 10 ringgit 66 cents. Both options have exercise date of 6 months from now. The price of the underlying asset 6 months from now is 85. So S 0.5 is 85. Okay. Effective rate is 8%. Okay. So now we want to find profit. To find the profit, first we need to find the payoff, because profit is our payoff from the option minus the cost of buying the option. So first, identify the payoff. The payoff is the market price is now 85, but you can buy at 78. So you can buy lower than the market price. So your payoff is 7. You can also think of it by drawing the graph. So it's here. So now the ST is here. ST is here. So your payoff is 7. And then cost of buying. What is the cost of buying the call at time 0? It is 5.6. So 7 minus 5.6. And then you have to evaluate this profit at the exercise time. So if this is the profit at exercise time. So you bring the cost that you paid for the call, you accumulate it by 6 months. So you times by 1.08 to the power of 0.8. So your profit becomes 1.18 ringgit. For the long put, let's try to find the payoff first. So the payoff is the K is 78, but the price is now 85. The payoff of put, if you draw, it will look like this. Okay, so the payoff at here is 0. Okay, 0. So the profit is the payoff minus the cost of the put times 1.08 to the power of 0.5. So you will get negative 11.074. So means this one negative means when you long this put, you make a loss of 11 ringgit and 7 cents. Okay. So now let's just get to know some common terms. So when there is payoff, when payoff is positive, the positions is said to be in the money. Okay. If the payoff is if the payoff is 0, means it is said to be out of the money. So for example, for a call option, you are in the money when ST is bigger than K. You are out the money when ST is smaller than K. But when ST is equals to K, you are at the money. For put option, you are in the money when the ST is smaller than K. You are out the money when ST is bigger than K. And this one is at the money. Okay. So we are just saying that is the position of this strategy right now. It is at the money, in the money, or out the money. Okay. Here this is how we can plot our profit on a graph. So same as before, but before this we do payoff over ST. Now is profit over ST. So this is the profit at the exercise date. Okay, this is the profit exercise date. So your profit is payoff minus cost, right? Minus cost. So your chart will only be shifted downward a bit. So this is the cost. So it will be shifted downward to allow for the cost. Okay. And if you were to draw the plot of the profit for a short position, it will be opposite sign. So it will look like this. Opposite sign, right? Okay. That is the profit for a short position. The blue is for the long position. After this, I want to explain a bit about put call parity. What is it? But before we learn about put call parity, I think I will explain to you a bit about the concept of arbitrage. What is arbitrage? An arbitrage opportunity is said to exist if a trade either give an immediate profit with no risk of future loss at all, or it doesn't have a cost to enter into that position, but it have a non-zero probability of a future profit. You can have a positive expected profit with no cost at all, or you get a confirmed profit with no risk of loss at all. So there's two perspectives. I think this one is more intuitive than this one. Okay, one example of how arbitrage happen, when two assets, either they are same or equivalent. Same means both are same lah. Apple, we are comparing apple with apple. Or there's another one is equivalent asset means they are different but they have the same payoff. Okay, so when two assets have the same payoff, they should be priced if their payoff is the same. If their payoff is the same, asset 1, asset 2, so their price should also be the same. Price asset 1 should also be the same. So if price A give a payoff that looks like this, asset A2 also give a payoff that looks like this. So it's exactly identical. So because of that, their price should match lah. If they don't, then what will happen? Arbitrages will buy the one that is cheaper and then sell the one that is more expensive and then get an immediate profit from there. So in the beginning tadi, they bought the cheap one and then sell the expensive one, right? So this one, it will get an income at the exercise date. This one, it will have a liability to pay at the exercise date. So the income from here will fully offset the liability for this one. So there's no risk at all, but at the initial time, he will get immediate profit. So this is an example of scenario A, where you will get immediate profit with no risk of future loss. It is generally assumed that arbitrage opportunities do not exist in a financial market. This assumption is called no arbitrage assumption. Okay, it is a fundamental for modern financial math. Arbitrage can exist when arbitrage actually can exist. Okay, arbitrage actually can exist, but when it does, the market will act quickly to remove it. So indeed, arbitragers who purposely seek for arbitrage opportunity, when they see some underpriced asset, they will jump into purchasing it very quickly because they wanna benefit from the arbitrage opportunity. But but that will increase the demand for that asset, and when the demand increase, the price also will stabilize, so it will close the pricing discrepancy. So in the modern market, this trade will happen at such speed and volume because everything will be tracked by computer system, right? And also things can be bought in bulk. So because of that, all of this arbitrage opportunity will be quickly removed. So it is therefore sensible and realistic to say arbitrage opportunity do not exist in the market. Okay, now that we understand about arbitrage opportunity, we now want to learn about put call parity. Okay, now I explain about fiduciary call. What is fiduciary call? It is a strategy that involves two instruments. First, you long call, and then you buy a zero coupon bond with a maturity value of K. At the maturity date, you will get what? K, right? Maturity value of K. So this is your payoff at time maturity. The maturity of your zero coupon bond have to match the maturity of your call. So these two are payoff at the same date lah. Okay, so no matter what the price of the underlying asset, you will get K from this zero coupon bond. However, from the call option, your payoff will look like this. So the total of these two strategy will be as follows. Okay, what about protective put. Protective put consists of two things. One, the long put. So when you long a put, this is your payoff graph, right? And also you buy the underlying asset. The price is ST, your payoff is ST lah. So that's why you get a straight line here. Okay, so the total of these two, if you think about it, this one x plus 0, so it's x. Here it will all be x, so you will be a straight line here, then it will be an increase. So the payoff for portfolio put, protective put, and the payoff for fiduciary call is exactly the same, it's identical. So because their payoff is identical, their price should be the same. So that is what put call parity say. Price of the protective put, it must be equal to the price of the fiduciary call. So protective put consists of the underlying asset plus the put. Fiduciary call consists of the call plus the zero coupon bond with maturity value of K. Right, K. Maturity value of K. So this is the price that you bought the zero coupon bond at. So if the above equation is not true, it means there is an arbitrage opportunity. Okay.